Hi, I'm Bob Trask. This is our weekly reset. Every week we come together to do some really powerful work in upgrading our consciousness so that everything that goes on in our life, everything is deliberate. Everything that happens, it happens because we decide for it to happen. So this week, I'm so excited about the topic. This week, you're going to love this. This week, the topic is, what the heck are we doing here anyway? What the heck are we doing here anyway? And quite often, those of us who are thinkers ask, what the heck am I doing here on this planet at this time, in this body? And over my lifetime, I've considered that question many, many times. And I've thought of it and lived in that thought. And, whether I was at sea or I was up working on a fishing boat or whether I was diving or whether I was in the ambulance business or whether I was doing wilderness expeditions. And the question was always there. Is this right? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be doing? Is this it? Is this what I'm assigned to? And I think that we all ask those questions. And I can tell you that after all those years, I come to a really pretty solid conclusion. And it's a pretty solid conclusion. And what we're here to do is to experience and then to use those experiences as deepenings of wisdom, eternal wisdom. We should be using those experiences as eternal wisdom, eternal wisdom. And that wisdom goes with us forever. It's a part of us. It becomes a part of our souls. And then we are, and whether negative or positive, they both expand us in wisdom, don't they? And then when we express the unique effect of that experience on us, because we're all unique, we're all different. There's no two of us alike. So when we experience that, we don't experience it like anyone ever in any universe has ever experienced it before. It's our unique experience. And then when we express that experience, express the effect of that experience, either through sharing, through loving, through art, through dance, through music, through gymnastics, through running, however we express, then we grow in joy. So that's it. We're here to experience and express, and in the process, to deepen our wisdom and to expand in joy. And that wisdom and joy are not just temporary. It's ours for eternity. In whatever forms we take after this life, we always will carry that wisdom and joy with us. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Now, boy, it's a big challenge, isn't it? I mean, like you lose a loved one, or you get some kind of a disability, and maybe you have to have a leg amputated, or these poor guys come back from war and both legs are gone or an arm's gone. And you say, well, that's an experience. Let it deepen you in wisdom, and then express that and become in joy. Whoa, that's a pretty big step. But uniquely, every single one of us is given, because we are so unique, we are given the ability to experience and express. And like no other person. And that experience and that expression has within each of us a power. And that power is grace. That power is joy. That power is grace. And it's in each one of us to rise above and become in charge of our lives, no matter the condition, no matter the condition, no matter the diagnosis, no matter what I'm suffering with. We have the ability to internalize that experience and let it be. It can be positive or negative, but the truth of it is that if I accept the experience. Boy, that's the biggie, isn't it? Isn't that the biggie? If I accept the experience, then it becomes neutral. And the effect on me is not neutral, but the experience is, and the effect on me, I have an opportunity to either make it accept it and allow the wisdom of that to go into my soul, or I can resist it. And boy, a lot of us spend our whole lives in resistance, don't we? God, I just hate this. I hate this. I can't stand this. And then it just continues. We can't stand something, it just continues and continues because the experience is there like a mosquito and it's going, and it's going to keep experiencing itself until you accept it. And when you accept it and become one with that experience, then it becomes wisdom. Then it becomes wisdom. Goes inside of you, goes inside of me, expands our wisdom. We become deeper, we become greater, we become who we came here to be. And then we express that. Pardon me, when we express that, we express it in joy. When we express that, we express it in joy. Now, that doesn't mean laughter, doesn't even mean happiness. It means a deep sense of being. You have a rose growing outside your window, and a beautiful rose comes up and stands in front of the window, and it is expressing itself. All forms of nature, every living thing in nature is an expression of the holiness, expression of the one great mind. And it's in joy. It's not happiness, it's not giggling, it's not laughing, but it's a sense of beingness, a sense of being the flower, a sense of being valuable. And that joy and that wisdom then become our identity. They become our footprint. So the simple answer to what the heck are we doing here? We're here to grow in wisdom and joy. And to do it by fully expressing and fully experiencing each of life's adventures. Experiencing and expressing them from our heart centers. It's a choice, isn't it? It's a choice every day. Like you're watching this video right now, or you're watching me live, and this is an experience. This is an experience that you're going through right now. There's nobody else having this experience. I have spoken to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people around the planet. And all those people who have heard me, and the people who have later watched YouTubes or other things, not one person had the same experience. I might be saying the same thing. Not one person had the same experience because we're unique. And that uniqueness is like a filter. It filters into us what we individually need to hear, need to know. I sometimes speak in foreign countries, and I might say something like, and this is brand new information, like I was speaking in China one time, and in the Soviet, or I mean in communist China, and I was speaking and I was saying things they'd never heard before, and I said, no one else is in charge of your consciousness. No one else, no government, no one else is in charge of your consciousness. You are in charge of your consciousness, and that consciousness either lifts you up each day or it takes you down each day. Now I look out into the audience and I see all these heads nodding. Why aren't they nodding? They've never heard this before. This is contrary to the communist thought. Why are they nodding? Because they already know. Individually, they already know. I can't teach anyone anything. All I can do is remind them of who they are. I can just remind them. So everyone is experiencing, and everyone is expressing. Everyone is. And you might think that I'm saying, well, only those of us who are enlightened are experiencing and expressing and growing in wisdom and joy. That would not be true. Everyone is doing that, either in a meaningful way or accidentally. Whether she be a stoned out meth addict on the streets, or a multi-millionaire, multi-billionaire hiding behind his wealth, or somebody who's being accelerated, who's waking up, who's mindful, who's conscious, and then that wisdom and joy are being accelerated by their ability to accept the wisdom, and then have the courage to go into joy. When I say courage, it takes courage. You know why? Because most of us grew up being humble. We grew up being humble. Oh, no, I didn't do that. Look at that. That's a beautiful dress. This old thing, oh my God, I just got this out. God, you did a great job on that. Well, you can say that, but I know I could have done better. That with this humility, this stupid humility, this stupid sense of self disinvaluing. Uh, this is a disease that we have. It's called guilt and shame. Guilt and shame. It's a disease, and it's a planetary disease. You think COVID was bad? Then there's nobody that doesn't have this one. Everybody's got this little disease. But we have to have the courage to be in joy. We have to have the courage to laugh. And boy, if you look out at the trees and see them smiling at you, whoo, man, every tree is smiling at you. Every tree is saying, please notice me. Please take me in. Please allow me to become a part of you. Every flower is looking at you and blessing you and filling you with joy. And the clouds, oh my God, the clouds. I'm a great aficionado of artists, and I look at art and I just sometimes almost want to cry. Art is so beautiful. And I could mention a whole bunch of really great artists like Van Gogh that really touch my heart. But you know what? Every single one of them was experiencing and expressing. And the greatest art is that which they were copying from. That's why their art's so great, is because what they saw. They did when Van Gogh looked at a field of sunflowers, he didn't see sunflowers. He saw the truth. He saw the joy. He saw the brilliance. He saw the oneness of everything. Starry sky, bridge over the over the river Arle. All he saw the truth in that. And if we have the time to really look, we'll begin to see the truth in that. And then like everyday experiences, we begin to see the vastness of life and the depth of life and the beauty of life and the incredible opportunity that we have to be here in this time, expressing and experiencing it, expressing it, being one with it, allowing it to open us in wisdom. And every time we express it with joy, with that sense of I belong here. I'm perfect, I'm whole and perfect exactly like I am. I belong here. When we express it with that, oh, we become it's an eternal footprint. That's something we'll carry with us through the rest of life. So why should we experience and express and grow in wisdom and joy? Well, obviously that's why. Because we're here to grow. We're each an incarnation of that one and only greatness, that great presence, the Holy Spirit or Great Spirit or whatever you want to call it. You can call it God, you can call it whatever it wants. It doesn't really matter what you call it. Everything in nature is an incarnation of that great light. Every tree, every snowflake, and they, like you and me, are individuals. There's never been nor ever will be another one that's the same. So how does that relate? How does that relate to our experience in expressing? I think we have to begin to see that this thing that I just mentioned, this great spirit, this oneness, isn't it's not a guy in the sky. It's not a distant thing. It's not somewhere out there. It's not something we will encounter or meet after we die. We're already dead. We're already alive. We're already here. We're eternal. We were never born. We will never die. We're eternal. That great presence is either in us and with us right now, or it never will be. I have a little imagination in my mind that if a person who says, well, when I die, I'm going to go before St. Peter, and he's either going to let me into heaven or he's going to send me down to hell. So the guy dies and he goes to St. Peter, and St. Peter says, what are you doing here? What do you want? And he says, I want to get into heaven. And he said, into heaven? You fool. You just left heaven. And I think that happens because people die and they think, oh, something great's going to happen. Something great already has happened. Something great is happening. And the creator is the created. The space around you right now, this is not empty space. This is the presence. And everything around you in this room, and this forest and the trees and the ocean and the starry sky and the clouds, the rain and the snow and the storms and the wind, all of that are the presence. And you are the presence, and we're all one, and we're all here experiencing and expressing and growing together. And if we want a joy-filled life, then we must certainly nurture that joy within us, don't we? If a bomb goes off in our life, and we're in a place of opportunity. Shall we experience this as dark and ugly and oh my God, why me? Or will we say, it happened, it is the truth, it is the way it is, therefore it is the way, and I accept it. And then we move into joy. And then we experience, and then we express that. And yes, I would agree that it takes some personal training to do that. But we can be in charge of our personal training. When an experience happens to us, we can look at that and say, God, I hate that. Oh man, I just wish that. Or we can say, no, it is the way it is. And it is the way, and I accept it. I accept it. And then we become creators of life. We're not casualties of life anymore. We become creators of life. Jane Goodall, one of my absolute heroines. Oh man, what an incredible person. She said, what you do makes a difference. And you have to decide what kind of a difference you want to make. And if you want to make a difference of bringing joy to the world, then you must be joy. If we choose to see life as an adventure, with its ups and downs being necessary for our personal growth, I mean, imagine that you were incarnated and you came into this being and you sit on the couch and eat popcorn and watch I Love Lucy reruns for 100 years. What was the purpose of being here? But you say, if I go outside, it's snowy and it's cold and it's stormy, and so I'm not going outside. Okay, don't go outside. Just sit and watch I Love Lucy reruns. Or, that's the phone's ringing, but I know who that is. That's my mother, and she's going to tell me what to do, so I just won't answer it. Okay, just don't answer it. Just sit and watch I Love Lucy reruns. Life is an adventure. It's a kick butt adventure. Sometimes it makes us excited, and sometimes it knocks us down. And every single time it's there for us, for our growth. And every time it's individually experienced and individually expressed. And joy, and joy, should you decide to own it, is the fuel that makes us geniuses. Joy is the power to make this life one in paradise. Joy. If we don't have joy, then our wisdom is useless. Our wisdom is only useful if it comes through joy. So we can have this big bank of wisdom. It's like having I save up my gasoline, so I've got $100,000 gallon tank underground, and I've got all this gas in it, and I don't use it. Well, that's what wisdom is like. Unless we have joy, then we don't know what to do with the wisdom. The joy, the wisdom comes out and makes our life and makes other people's lives fuller and better when we are willing to be in joy. You're perfect exactly the way you are. And your life is unfolding exactly as it should. Exactly as it should. And the way it's unfolding is the purpose of your life. And when you do that, then you become the creator. Like we're incarnations of creation, of that great mind that is the creator. That you know what people talk about, God does this and God does that and God judges this and God does get nonsense. Get rid of that. God, whatever you want to call that, great spirit, Holy Spirit, the great presence, the universe, the multiple universes, that great presence, that great mind is creating constantly, constantly, constantly. You are being created. You are shedding billions of cells every day, and every tree is growing and reaching for the light. Every flower, every child, every bug, every worm, everything is always, always, always growing and creating and creating and creating. Everything is creating its own path. And Albert Einstein said, creativity is intelligence having fun. Creativity is intelligence having fun. Isn't that wisdom being expressed through joy? Intelligence having fun. Isn't that wisdom being filtered through joy? Being fueled by joy? And when we do that, then we find ourselves swimming deeper and deeper into wisdom and joy every day, every week, every year. We're enjoying life as a gift then rather than a duty. Our brains are creating a chemical message called dopamine when we're in joy that communicates directly to the rest of the body through all the cells and all the nerves of the body. Dopamine is that great hormone that makes us feel pleasure. It's our body responding to feelings of joy. If you dare be in joy, then you're making dopamine. So cool. You're going to become a drug addict, a dopamine addict. Let's do it. We live to evolve. We live to grow. Evolution is the process that allowed organisms to survive and thrive. Humans, along with every living animal or plant, we're here to evolve. It's through experience and expressing that we do so. Stephen Covey, great mind, God, I love this guy, said, be patient with yourself. Self-growth is tender. It's holy ground. There is no greater investment. I would add to that, there's no greater investment of your time and of your efforts than self-growth, than moving into joy. So for me, each day, I strive to be a little bit better and a little bit wiser and a little bit more loving and a little bit more patient than the day before. I want every week to be a better week than the week before, and I want to continue this evolutionary process throughout my lifetime. So here's a plan for moving forward. Ready? We need to challenge our comfort zones. Yeah, I know our comfort zones can be really reassuring. What are our comfort zones? It's the house we live in. It's the money we have coming in. It's who we think we are. It's who we've identified ourselves as being for a long, long time. I'm a man. I'm a woman. I'm transgender. I'm gay. I'm black, I'm white, I'm yellow, I'm white, I'm a North American Indian. I'm all honor. So it's all identities. That's all just stuff. It's all just stuff. We're none of that stuff. We're here for a little bitty while trying to build these identities so we have comfort in those. I'm Bob Trask. I'm a sea captain. I'm a deep sea diver. I'm a blah 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 minister. I'm speaker. I'm all. That's all just stuff. Oh, those are all just tags we hang on ourselves. So we have to be able to move outside of our comfort zone because we cannot experience anew while we're hiding in the old. And when we step through that boundary and allow ourselves to see new, fresh perspectives, we are showered by joy. Cool, right? George Adair said, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. I'll add to that or change it just slightly. Everything you ever wanted is just on the other side of your comfort zone. Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs says that once we satisfy our basic needs of breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep, safety, security, our next step is self-actualization, which starts with complete acceptance of our lives exactly the way they are. And please remember that joy is the fuel of creation. If we want life to be different, we have to have the power to make it so. And that power is joy. Albert Schweitzer, oh, what a man, what a mind this guy had. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you'll be successful. That's joy. I know I'm quoting a lot, but I can't help it. There's so many great minds that were here before me, and just knowing that gives me joy. Does it for you? So let's look at just for a moment before we go. Let's look at homelessness and poverty. Those people who are living on the streets, they don't have their basic needs met. They're living in states of defensive survival, aren't they? Until they can have those needs met, we can expect them to be empowered or to change. How hard that must seem for them. Hard to be in joy when you're homeless and hungry. And yet again, that's another comfort zone, a very narrow and limited one. But for like all of us, it limits their creative power. So no matter what the situation, no matter how dire it is, there's always an opportunity to step beyond our imagined limits and find a way to create, to be oneself, to dare to imagine life unfolding in a beautiful new way. Karl Barth said, though no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending. Though no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending. And Maya Angelou came right on the heels of that and said, do the best you can until you know better. And then when you know better, do better. I personally think that meditation is the easiest and fastest way to experience joy. It's the fastest way for us to get out of our darkness. And if we practice meditation, we develop an awareness of eternity, of the sweet power of creation that we're a part of. And also, let's make sure our minds stay focused on joy and imagination. Positive affirmations and positive self-talk are wonderful ways of winning all the time. Let's use those. And finally, Abraham Maslow again. One choose to go backward, one can choose to go back toward safety or forward toward growth. Growth must be chosen again and again. Fear must be overcome again and again. So this week, let's make a decision right now. This week, I'm going to take every experience, no matter how small, no matter how great, that dread that I have, that fear that I have, every one of those is an experience. Let me take it in and let me be one with it. Let me accept it. And then let me transfer it into joy as I express it. And then the joy and the wisdom become one great flower garden in my soul. Thank you so much for being with me. I so appreciate it. Hey, do me a favor, will you? Will you let other people know about this? And if you have a Facebook site, you'll see this show up on your Facebook site. And if you hit share, it goes out to other people. And we can get these messages out to more and more people, and we can make a difference in the world. Let's do that together. And while you're at it, stop by bobtrask.com and leave a donation so that Mary and I can continue to expand this work in the world. Thank you for being with me. I love you, and I'll see you next week.